And now we have Jaclyn coming and presenting.
Hi, I'm Jaclyn, and I'm here to talk to you about Pulse, a personal emergency response device for seniors that works anywhere. Right now, there's 45 million seniors in North America. This is 15% of the population. Not only is this the largest, but it's also the fastest growing population segment. Right now, 1 in 3 seniors will fall this year. In fact, fall prevention and treatment currently accounts for $28.2 billion. Yet despite this huge cost, seniors still want to remain living at home. So how can we keep them living at home safely? The number one solution is to use a personal emergency response device. Unfortunately, current devices on the market all use antiquated technology. What this means is they require a base station and a pendant worn by the user. As soon as the person walks outside of the home, they're no longer covered. Unfortunately, more than half of all falls occur outside of the home, which is where seniors are no longer protected. In fact, on average, most seniors who end up falling lie on the ground helpless for upwards of 18 hours. So that's why we created Pulse, an emergency response system that works anywhere. The Pulse system has 2 components: a pendant worn by seniors, which is a single device, help button that's easy to use, and 2-way communication, as well as a Pulse portal, which is an integrated web app used by caregivers and family members to track the location, the battery life, the signal strength, and make sure everything is working. The Pulse device uses a variety of different technology. We have Wi-Fi, GPS, cell networks, and indoor positioning to detect where the person is located at all times, as well as an accelerometer for fall detection, 2-way voice communication in case of emergency, and the Pulse portal is an integrated web app that has the ability to send out automatic email notifications and text messages if an emergency is detected. Our pricing model is simple: $150 for the device itself, plus a $40 service fee on a monthly basis. Right now, or rather in 2010, nursing and home healthcare was a $2.8 trillion market. This is expected to grow to $3.5 trillion by 2016. We have a 2-fold customer acquisition strategy. It turns out that our target customer is actually the daughter or the daughter-in-law of a senior. So for that reason, we will be doing standard print and online marketing to the 35 to 60-year-old female demographic. But more than that, we'll actually be working directly with retirement homes, healthcare networks, health providers to reach out to seniors and their family members directly. The team is 3 engineers from Waterloo with a varying background in both technology, hardware and software, as well as business. We've all had a couple years work experience before starting out on this. 2 people at CGI as consultants and myself at Microsoft for a couple years. The next steps are really to roll out the product. We currently have a partially working prototype that's able to send all the information to our back-end servers. We do need to package this into a wearable form factor. We're currently talking with a retirement home and plan to launch a pilot program with them later on this year. And we've also spoken with both private and public healthcare networks that are interested in rolling us out as soon as we have something built. So if you're interested in talking to us and getting to know more, just let me know.
Very nicely presented. But I happen to know a little bit about this market, and when I look at the technology platform, it sounds like an iPhone in terms of all the elements of the iPhone there, and it sounds like there's a web app that sits on top of it, or an iPhone app that is very easy competition for it. The number one problem with Lifeline and other products, I don't know if you're aware, but if you look at the medical literature, is that people don't want to wear them because it says that they are weak and feeble, and they don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
So you have to overcome that. There are companies like Grand Care, Lifeline, a whole bunch of them that are in the market. In a presentation like this to a knowledgeable audience, or any VC or whoever would know the audience, you must come out and say, this is why they failed, this is why we're better.
Okay.
Don't ever, 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 ever say that there's a $2.8 trillion market in old age care when you deal with this piece of it. That number of 2.8 trillion is irrelevant, completely, utterly irrelevant. Growth of the market, of the elder care market and the elderly population is relevant, because that's directly proportional to your market. But the 2.8 trillion by itself as a number is not useful, and it's a bit frustrating. And also after this, come and talk to me, and I can point you to some of the world's best researchers in this particular area that might be useful for you.
Perfect.
And do take him up on that. Because that is a
definitely
great
will.
offer. I thought it was an excellent, your presentation, Scott, I've seen you twice now. Excellent presentation, not a note, never an or a but, excellent, very compelling. You have a very good team, great cred, scientific cred, pedigree. I thought, I have a 95-year-old father, 2 falls, 2 busted hips in 6 months. It's a nightmare. And 2 of those, he sat in agony for 10 hours. So I know, anecdotally, the pain that's out there. I'd buy the thing tomorrow. But I think John's onto something, because my old man would not wear the big dangling pendant and is, I'm an old loser, he won't do it.
Yep.
If you can have a funky little bracelet or watch or something, because they also won't walk around with an iPhone, because that is completely overwhelming to my old man, as it is to most elderly folks. But if you give him something that's just like 2 buttons or he doesn't have to do anything, it's great. So I think you're onto something fantastic, and lean on John to get you there. Good luck, and thank you.
Thank you.
I thought it was very good, very articulate, compelling, energetic, warm. So great from that point of view. Questions that popped in my mind: any barriers to entry? You didn't talk at all about patents, about anything that might stop. So if you launch this, what stops other people from launching the same thing? In this area, what's called reimbursement is really, really important. How, when and how can you get people like Medicare, Medicaid, Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care to pay for it is critical. And I don't know whether this is something that you're aiming for or whether you aren't aiming for at all. And generally, if you're selling into sort of CCACs, hospitals, doctors, social workers, that's a very long sell cycle, at least to understand under what circumstances they prescribe your advice or your device and your technology, because I don't think it's quite as broad as you're saying it is. I think it's
Go somewhere else, other than Ontario.
Yeah, well, that could very well be. But I think the point is I would hone that a little bit, because I don't know as much as John about the sector, but I know a little bit. And that's where, if you come across with a broad brush, they'll just show you the door.
I think it seems to me that your device sort of crosses an important line. From what I know of existing devices, which is almost nothing, they're really premised on the notion that when the senior has a problem, he or she pushes a button and help arrives. And when you start talking about the relative or family members being able to monitor the device and its usage, then you're telling the senior, well, somebody's going to be monitoring what you're doing where you are. And that, I think, instinctively might make a lot of people uncomfortable, and it raises the notion that your customer and the user are different people, and you need to find a strategy to bring them both on the side.
It is a very divided market, so yeah, that is something we're constantly trying to innovate on there.
Really good pitch, textbook, right? Almost. To nit gritty, just shows you how good your pitch was. That slide behind you, you don't need it. Nobody cares about it, right?
Yeah.
Just say here are the big next steps. No need to go into a project plan, because people are like, if he wants to build a board, 4 boards, right? Oh, right. Raises more questions than it answers. 2, wear the device, right? Make me feel the physical connection. I'm surprised nobody brought that up, because if you had it like here, his comment would be gone, right? Sorry?
The device was
A mock-up.
A mock-up.
I do have a giant.
Come on,
metal mock-up
molding
right now.
clay and color it silver and put it here, right? Like a StarTech badge or whatever. But show. I'm serious.
Yeah, no, that's
People
good.
will
That's a
develop
good
a
idea.
connection with what you're doing. Have you noticed, like towards the end of the pitch? By the way, I'm wearing the device. See if you could find it, right? Something like that. Challenge people who are like, where is it, right? Anyway, great presentation.
Thank you.